And well, I have to go back onto the streams. And Maxwell Agbagba is at Bema camp, and he's standing by with the commander, or with Commander Michael Labi, rather, with the Public Relations Directorate of the Ghana Armed Forces to discuss the final funeral rites for the late Major Maxwell Adam Mahama. Good morning to you, Maxwell.
Well, good morning, Roland.
I hear you have a discussion with one big man with the Public Relations Directorate of the Ghana Armed Forces, true?
Yes, that's true, Roland. Roland, you know that 29th May would go down in Ghana's history as one of our unforgettable moments. That evening, on that particular day, news started filtering, through sometime in the evening about the lynching of Captain Mahama by some residents of Dentrobois who mistook him for an armed robber. Well, ever since that barbaric incident happened, social media has been awash with commentary about his death. I mean, if you monitor the radio, TV, we've had the conversation all from 29th June till this day. And now we're talking about the final preparations for the late captain, now Major Maxwell Mahama. I have with me here Michael Labi, Commander Michael Labi. He's with the Public Affairs Unit of the Ghana Armed Forces. He's going to tell us about final preparations for the burial. We understand that today is also, later this evening, there's a vigil also. He's going to tell us more about it and tell us what to expect tomorrow, because we know that it's going to be a full military, burial. He's going to tell us exactly what to expect and what is going to be like. Tell us the difference between a military burial and then a civilian burial. We're privileged to have you here, Commander Labi.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, tell us about preparations for the final funeral rites for Captain Major, I must say, Major Maxwell Mahama.
Thank you. We are in the final phase of our preparatory works. This evening we're going to start with a vigil. Tomorrow we have the burial service itself at the forecourt of the State House, and after that, we do the interment at the military cemetery. Then subsequently, there will be other funeral rites for the family in Bali and tomorrow, respectively.
Now, yesterday when I was here, you were very busy editing, tributes and all of that. Tell us some of the hectic times that you have to go through to be able to put together this funeral within the short space that you had.
Well, we've had a lot of immense support, and the family has been very supportive. The military is also putting its best. So within the shortest possible time, knowing very well that it's a state burial, we have to garner all the resources that we require, and at that short notice be able to put something together and to make the best out of it to give our colleague a befitting burial.
Now, we know that there will be a vigil later this evening here at the Bema camp. Is it going to be at the Arakan Barracks?
Yeah, it's going to be held at the Arakan Officers Mess from 1900 hours. Most of the guests will be seated by 1830 hours, that is 6:30 p.m. And it's going to be like a normal service. Unlike normal waykeepings that we know, this will be conducted by the Directorate of Religious Affairs of the Ghana Armed Forces. And we'll start at 1900, that is 7 p.m. this evening.
Okay, so who are we to expect at this vigil? Have you invited? Because we know this unfortunate incident has, caught the attention of, everybody here in Ghana. So who are we to expect at this vigil today?
Well, I expect that there's going to be a lot of people from all walks of life. We're expecting some dignitaries would also pass through. And I can't mention all the lists or the names here that we expect of them, but we expect a lot of people, prominent persons, some VIPs, members of the military high command, and various unit personnel and all others who have been touched by this sudden demise of our colleague to pass through for the vigil.
Okay. Now, the funeral is on Friday. Can you talk us through the program lineup before we come to the military aspect of it, which is going to be featured, prominently at the burial grounds? Can you just talk us through the program lineup, what it's going to be like from the 37 military hospital where the body will be conveyed to the Osu military cemetery? But we have first of all, it's going to be at the State House.
Yes, that is where the burial service is going to be held. The body would be moved from the 37 military hospital after being dressed up and everything to the forecourt of the State House between 5:30 and 6 o'clock tomorrow, that is Friday morning. And from 6 a.m., when you have the opportunity for those who will be present there to file past between 6 o'clock and 08:50. That is by 8:30, the filing past would have been over, for the burial service to start at exactly 9 o'clock. After burial service, which is also at the forecourt of the State House, then immediately after that, we will have the interment at the Osu Military Cemetery. It's just a wall away, so there will be procession along the streets. We will have a lot of military persons lining up the streets, and we will walk through the military cemetery for the interment. And after that, we will have funeral rites also at the forecourt of the State House. Then subsequently, maybe between the 13th and the 15th, they would have funeral rites also at Boli, then 15th to 16th also at Tumu.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, President Akufo-Addo announced that he'll be given a state burial. We already know that, and then that will be with a full military honors. Now, what are some of the things that we are likely to see? We know usually at events like what we're going to see tomorrow, the caskets will be draped in the Ghana flag.
Yes, it will. He was on national duty. Once he's performing a military duty, he was still in active service. He's not retired. And so in the course of such death, you give him the full military burial. And taking the national dimension for which he lost his life, the president announced that it's going to be a state burial. So that means the state is more involved in how the affairs of the burial is conducted. So it is not only for the military itself, but the state itself is fully involved in it.
And then that flag that will be used to cover the casket is the same flag that will be folded and given to the wife?
Yes, once he was on a national assignment, and you pay the ultimate sacrifice while serving the country. And you know, our national colors, our flag is the soul and spirit of the country. And so it is an honor also that you have passed on while serving your country. So it is normally folded and given to the wife for keeps, for remembrance that his husband passed on whilst in service of this very colors that he was serving.
Now tell us about the bugle call. What exactly is the bugle call?
Bugle call is like a farewell call on the passing of a person. You normally sound a farewell call whilst being sent to the cemetery. And at the graveside also, they sound a bugle call. That is the last post to signal the end of an era of a particular military person who has served with distinction.
So what is it going to be like? We have somebody blowing a trumpet? Or
yes, we will normally have what we call two buglers from the military band, and they will be sounding that bugle call.
Now, after that bugle call, now there will be a procession, we are told, to the Osu Military Cemetery. Are we going to have any military presence also there?
Well, you have a lot of military persons lining up the streets, and they will be paying the last compliments as the body is moved by. Those not in uniform would have to brace up, those in uniform would salute, and those holding the rifles will present arms as a sign of compliment, paying their last respects to the deceased before he is sent to the cemetery for burial. That is a procession. And whilst going through, that will be sounding the farewell call when they get to the cemetery before they sound the last post itself at the graveside.
Okay, so military men will line up the street from the State House to the Osu Military Cemetery?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, now tell us also, we know there will be some gun salutes. What do you call that one?
We call it firing of volleys.
Firing of volleys. Tell us more about the firing of volleys.
Firing of volleys, we have a firing party which comprises normally about 14 military persons, and for his rank, it is general that we give them the gun salute. But for he being an officer or a military other of subordinate rank, he takes the 3 rounds of volleys. So we have 14 persons firing the 3 rounds of volleys. That makes it about 42 rounds, you know.
Now, today, when I came here, I saw the mood myself here at the Directorate of the, Public Affairs of the Ghana Armed Forces. If you go down there also, you see the mood. It's all calm. People are in a very, somber mood and all of that. How is the military taking, all of this?
Well, it's a difficult time. It's a time that we try our best. We've exercised a lot of restraints. The CDSL, the DEBA, spoke to the troops. We've exercised a lot of restraints. It's also a time for us to reflect a little bit. And also, for now, the most important thing is to mourn the passing of our colleague, and we'll still have to do our work as military persons and still continue to serve our nation to the best capabilities and our capacities.
Thank you very much, Commander Labi, for speaking to us. But before we wrap up, maybe you have something else to say, your wrap-up comments?
We thank Ghanaians for the support, and we'll continue to do our work. We give them the assurance that we'll continue to serve our nation to the best of our ability, regardless of this. It is a very sorrowful sight, but we have to be resolute and continue to do our work as it's required of us. Thank you.
Okay, so we have to be resolute and continue with our work. These are the final words of Commander Michael Labi. He's with the Public Affairs Unit of the Ghana Armed Forces, talking us through what to expect this evening at the vigil, and then what to also expect tomorrow when Major Maxwell Mahama is given a state burial with full military honors. Over to you, Roland Walker, in the studio.
Well, thank you very much, Maxwell Agbagba. And Maxwell Agbagba is reporting for us from the Bema camp, and he was talking to Commander Michael Labi, who is with the Public Relations Directorate of the Ghana Armed Forces. And it's all in connection with the final funeral rites or burial or interment, it depends on how you want to say it, of the late Major Maxwell Adam Mahama. And we know what happened to him. Sometimes recounting the incident in itself puts us in a different mood altogether by way of our emotions and temperament. But we've talked a lot about a lot of issues, the UK elections, and we're talking about the final funeral, etc. I'll start with you. We do a wrap-up and then...
Well, very well, Roland. I think that we all have an interest in what goes on in different parts of the world. So we will be monitoring very keenly, or should I say we'll monitor with keen interest the way it's going to go in the UK. We hope and pray that nothing happens to disrupt what is clearly a democratic process that is unfolding in the UK. We'll see who gets the nod, and I'm very confident that that should not alter our relationship with the UK. In the case of the funeral of the late Major Major Mahama, I know that it is going to be a national funeral. We are all going to be there in person or in spirit, in solidarity with the fallen hero. And I believe that it's going to go well. They've been rehearsing since yesterday at the forecourt of Parliament. And I'm sure by today, most of the finishing touches will be put in place to give him the befitting burial that he deserves. So that is what I can say for now in terms of these two items that you have introduced.
Your wrap-up comment, sir.
Well, there's election in the UK. May the best be the best person going to become Prime Minister. It does appear that everybody is saying that the sitting Prime Minister will win. If it is so, it is a choice. It is a choice of the good people of the United Kingdom. On the burial of Major Maxwell Mahama, I think it continues to be a big blot on our polity. But it has happened and nobody can do anything about it. But I think it should be a wake-up call to all for this nation that we will not allow mob action, mob justice to determine the outcomes. Nobody has a right to take anybody's life. We live in a democracy. The underpinning of the democracy is a rule of law. Fundamentally, I'm not a lawyer, but the lawyers tell us that every man stands innocent until proven otherwise.
That's right. The Constitution says that.
It is absolutely wrong. Look, my own libertarian attitudes does not permit me. I don't like even the death penalty. It is only God who has a right to take life. How much more? Even when that is what I think. But that is a discussion for another matter, another day. It's sickening, really. It's sickening that people can treat another human being like this. it has happened. May some good thing come out of this. Last but not least, I am a little troubled about events that are unfolding in Iran, in
about
that part.
those bombings.
Yeah, it has huge implications for all of us.
How?
Oh, for me, at the very least, oil prices.
Yeah, true.
We are a small oil.
The parliament. So
We are a small oil producing country. You know that there's in that area. It is a competition between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Can you imagine if something happens? Oil prices will escalate. Then it is poor us.
Even beyond that, there's got a lot more implications in terms of the geopolitical.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't even want to begin. I
don't
don't want to begin even to talk about it. But I want to consider the direct impact it will have on us. Okay, with our fragile economy, if oil prices begin to go up, it changes everything for everybody. My sister Yabedu will begin to suffer, and I don't want Yabedu to suffer.
Well, I hear she is the lady who is roasting plantain by
on
the
the
wayside.
East Legon and main East
Yes.
Legon.
On the Lagos Avenue.
One of them is Yabedu. Okay. So that's it. Well, thank you very much. And
you let me
Emmanuel,
talk bully to my people.
Okay.
So busngamena mapusini. Zongo dema mena mbolene ntuntomka about a China matini menajiam my Zongo community. My message to them is on this way. So I'm electing the chief imam and his followers.
Oh, great.
And I know this year
You should be charging.
we are going to do well.
When is the fasting? Okay.
It has started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So Emmanuel Chamantinge Jaco is a member of parliament for Yawaso West Wagon. Also in the studio with Dr. Clement Apark, member of parliament for Busa South. And thanks for joining me, the two of you. I've enjoyed all the conversations. They seem to disagree and agree. I don't know how they do it.
He's a good friend.
You are here. I know we're taking a break. When we come back, Becky will be here with a wrap-up of entertainment for the day. It's brought to you by Airtel, as always.